The next quarterfinals that I'll be covering will be the matchup between Fnatic and Top Esports. And while most people are counting Fnatic out in this matchup, I think that there's some ways in which they can at least take one game in this series. To examine Fnatic's playstyle, they have been playing towards the jungle. As they have said multiple times in interviews, they have decided that Selfmade should be the carrier of this team, and some people consider this to be a more on-meta style. What they've gone for is scaling approach of sorts, where they can then secure the ability to team fight on objectives with the likes of Orianna in the mid lane and the Ornn in the top lane. The way that they facilitate Selfmade's carry jungle position has been rather flexible, with sometimes them playing through the top side of the map when Bwipo has the volley back pick, and other scenarios where they play towards the bottom side of the map, using push from Reckless's champions, playing the likes of Ashe, Jhin and Senna, which can fight for lane priority, and then enabling Hylissang to then be able to roam together with Selfmade to make plays happen on the map, impact the map, and secure neutral objectives for themselves. The make and learn assignments is fairly standard. It's a very modern style of playing on two lanes, transitioning to one, covering for the weak side and playing for the strong side, and the objective control in terms of setting up for it has been decent, while their zone control in terms of preventing the opponents from coming in and making sure that they win team fights leaves a little bit of work to be desired. Compare that with TES, who has a much more different approach to the meta. They showed us an A strategy and a B strategy, with the A strategy to play to a 1-3-1 towards the top side of the map, having Karsa be a facilitation point towards enabling either 369 or Knight to take over the game in a 1-3-1. And what they showed in the second round, where they had to play 3 games in a single day, is where they played a team fighting style, playing mages in the mid lane, a tank in the top lane, and interestingly enough, enchanter supports in the bot lane. If we examine the way that they play the mid-game lane assignments, it's also bridging for the weak side and playing for the strong side, which leaves me no complaints for their setup, and their zone control and team fighting being the top LPL representative is definitely top tier. You can actually draw some parallels between Top Esports and G2 with the way that they are currently playing, with G2 also being another team that facilitates to its lanes rather than playing for the jungle in this meta. And Fnatic, they came close to taking 3 games of G2 across 2 best of 5 series, and this was done mostly when Fnatic had access to the hack room compositions, and in the third example where they play, G2 actually recognized that this was something that Fnatic was going to be preparing, and then they picked up the likes of Ashe and Lulu in the bot lane to be able to disengage away from Fnatic's engage and hex down the hack room with the Lulu polymorph. So my expectation is that Fnatic would do best when they can get the likes of Hacker or Evelyn, because the way that they're playing with farming junglers at the moment, their laners will not necessarily be able to facilitate that, and they will need Selfmade to be more proactive in the early game and find kills with his jungle rather than simply try to get a 20 CS and 2-level lead in the jungle itself. In order for this to happen, Bwipo will need to be able to soak up pressure on the top side of the map, playing with the likes of either Volibear or an Ornn. I do believe the Ornn should be banned throughout the series from the side of Top Esports, and Nemesis will be looking to play either side of the Lucian Syndra matchup, most preferably either the Syndra into Lucian or banning out Syndra and taking Lucian for themselves, so that they have a point of pressure in the mid lane to cover for the top side of the map, or bottom side of the map accordingly. Top Esports, on the other hand, I think that there's a ton of ways that they can attack the game. They have shown Renekton Nidalee, which is something that Fnatic lost to in the group stages. When they had a losing mid, they're losing top, they're losing jungle, and they just simply got snowballed on by Genji's Renekton and Nidalee combination. This is something that Top Esports, as with all the LPL teams, they are definitely capable of executing. And Ashe Lulu is something as well that I think that Fnatic might struggle to do with. This is kind of a throwback to Worlds last year, where they did beat a rather off-meta Lulu pick, which was brought up by RNG, but that was in part Castle's fault for trying to split the map in a scenario where he had a Lulu on the bottom side. While TS has shown to be comfortable in giving push with these enchanter supports, I do believe that against Hylissang's champion pool, the Lulu pick will be right up on the string against them. And even if they do not go for the Lulu, the likes of a Tahm might shut down a lot of Fnatic's single target pick champions that Selfmade prefers to play. All in all, I think this is a very tough series to call, because we have not seen what TES is going to bring to the table so far, and if they're going to hold their strategies for the semi-finals and finals. I do think that there will be a perfect storm, as we can see that there's about 6 champions that TES needs to ban to fully ban out Fnatic's chances of winning this game, but simply attacking them in the draft phase, I think will be enough to secure victories for TES. But Fnatic should still be able to find one win, either through the perfect storm of having the direct picks to set up for self-made in one game, or perhaps of a level 1 to secure them a win. So I do believe that this is going to be a 1-3 in the favor of TES. But unlike my other two predictions, this is a very tough one to call, and I'm just putting out two numbers out there for the sake of doing a prediction, right? TES are definitely still the favorites, and this series is going to be exploring what other options do they have and figure out how much can Fnatic really push them to review their hand and let the rest of the competition know, okay, this is what TES's true level is going to be like. And that kind of wraps it up for my quarterfinals tactical preview between Fnatic and TES. I think Fnatic had a very interesting approach to their meta game, and it's a different take around the carry jungle playstyle at the moment. I would like to see Ripple bring out the Rengar in the top lane, and maybe they even do a throwback and bring out some Karma or Janna in the bot lane, which can then match with the type of push that TES wants to get on the bottom side of the map. But whether we see that or not, I think that has yet to be seen. And only once we play the matches then people determine who is going to be coming out ahead or whatsoever. But this is a preview of how both of these two teams play. I've done a proper profile, and if you like this style of content, do give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. This content was brought to you by Jensen. Have a nice day and get hype for Worlds.